We all have bad days. So if you're having one now, I want you to know that you're not alone. And I also want you to know that not all hope is lost. Keep tuning in to hear some inspiration that will get you through this tough day. This is episode number 102, Having a Bad Day. This is for you. Welcome to Calmly Coping. My name is Tati, and I'm a licensed therapist and coach specializing in high functioning anxiety. I help high achievers overcome anxiety, stress, and overwhelm so they can feel calmer and happier from within. Thank you so much for tuning in. First, I want you to reconsider whether you're actually having a bad day or not. Now, I'm not trying to minimize your experience or say that the way that you're feeling or the things that are going on in your life aren't difficult or aren't tough. I'm just trying to reframe what it means to have a bad day, because it's only human to experience ups and downs in our emotions, and maybe some days to feel really great and some days to feel more anxious or stressed or down. And those things depend on all sorts of factors. It can depend on what's actually happening in your life, so the things around you. If you're experiencing more stress or if you're going through a lot of change, it can depend on your relationships and if there's any conflict present or any difficulty in those. It can also depend on internal or biological factors like, are you getting enough sleep or are you eating nutritious and regular meals? It can also be influenced by things like hormonal changes and patterns and health issues. So there are so many things that can influence our moods. And so I don't want to say that, what you're feeling isn't important and isn't valid, because it absolutely is. However, sometimes when we can get into this place of making judgments or generalizations about our day or about our experience, then that can color our perception and the way that we approach things. For example, if you're saying, I'm having a bad day, then you might unconsciously be viewing things through that lens. And rather than focusing on what's going well, your brain is going to be primed to point out and identify things that are going to confirm that belief that, yeah, I am having a bad day. And so then that's just going to pile on and snowball into you feeling worse. So that is my first point, is that, many times our judgment of things can actually make us feel worse. So studies have actually shown that when we experience pain, a lot of times we would think that the actual experience of pain itself is the worst part. But actually, studies have demonstrated that secondary pain, which is the prolonging of the experience of the pain that we have. So for example, if you were to stub your toe and you have that initial sharpness of pain and the discomfort that occurs, then if we prolong that pain through a story and through saying this hurts so much or really focusing on it and judging it, that is really what is more uncomfortable and what hurts more than the actual experience of the primary pain. And I really think that this can happen with emotions and with other judgments that we make as well. So maybe if you are feeling as though you're more down or less motivated than usual and you don't want to feel that way, then you're going to focus on it and make judgments and say, what's wrong with me? I should be feeling better. Or, how come I'm always so anxious or stressed or overwhelmed? And it's going to then spiral into you feeling worse. So it's not to say that you're supposed to ignore the way that you're feeling, but it's more about not judging the way that you're feeling. And so not saying there's something wrong with me for feeling this way, or I shouldn't be feeling this way, or any of those types of statements that are a judgment of your present moment experience. Whatever's happening for you right now, I know you can handle this. I know you can do this, and I know that you can get through whatever it is that your trouble is right now, because I'm sure that you've been through things that have been difficult in the past, and I'm sure it hasn't felt that way forever. And so the one thing that's important to recognize is that all feelings are temporary and all states are temporary. So if you're feeling down, or if you're feeling unmotivated, or if you're feeling depressed or lost or sad or anxious or overwhelmed, all of those states are temporary, and I know that things are going to get better, and you're not going to feel this way forever. Sometimes that fear of feeling this way forever can make the experience so much worse, because it's hard to see any optimism, or it's hard to see that there is a point when you're no longer going to be feeling anxious or you're no longer going to be feeling overwhelmed. And so then that can make you feel even more trapped. But the reality is that there is going to be a point when you feel better, and it can be in the near future. Sometimes we need to go through and really experience those difficult moments in order to fully appreciate the pleasant moments. And also, we need to go through them in order to grow and to learn more about ourselves. It is often through moments of difficulty and challenge where we grow the most and where we improve and accelerate the most, because we have to experience that difficulty to change. If you think about it, if you're always happy and always doing well, then you're not going to really have any motivation to change or to learn about yourself, because you're going to be doing great. And although that would be very nice and ideal, a lot of times not having the emotional experiences of stress or anxiety or frustration or anger, those are the things that can help us to motivate change. Because at the end of the day, ultimately, our emotions are there to inspire action. And sometimes those actions can benefit you in the long run. So maybe if it's overwhelm, maybe that action is, I need to get things off my plate, or I need to take action, or I need to take a step back or rest, or whatever it might be. Your emotions may be clues that are telling you in order to take a step in a certain direction. And so if you're feeling down, maybe it's a sign that you need to take a break, or maybe it's a sign that you need to look within, or maybe it's a sign that you just need to start resting more, start playing more, start finding the joy in your life and in your day-to-day. You can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you think about it and how you respond to it, which ultimately determines your outlook. So you have the power to see things differently, and when you can have a more optimistic outlook, then you are going to allow yourself to see possibility, opportunities, and open doors instead of closed ones. So sometimes it can be difficult to see this way when you're having a bad day, when you're feeling down, but I want you to know that those things are still there, and it might just be more difficult to see things in that way because your emotions are clouding your judgment. And I want you to know that you are enough. You deserve to rest and to take time for yourself, and you deserve acknowledging the fact that you're not having the greatest day, or you're not feeling the best, and you don't need to earn rest and relaxation. So maybe you're struggling and having a bad day because you're doing things you don't want to do, or because you wish you were feeling better. So my question for you is, what can you do to make the day a little more fun or enjoyable or relaxing? Are there ways that you can implement those little pockets of joy into your day? So maybe it's by listening a song that you really enjoy and that brings up your mood, or maybe it's going on a walk outside, or maybe it is doing something else that you enjoy, reaching out to a friend, or taking some time to watch your favorite show. Whatever it is, that might be those little things and those little ways that you can create some joy in your day, and then really experience them and savor them. This is going to help you to be more aware of the positive things and the pleasant experiences you can have going on around you, and can help to shift that mindset from I'm having a bad day to I'm not feeling the greatest today, and that's okay. That doesn't mean that my entire day needs to be ruined because of it. So I want you to think of, is there a way for you to sprinkle some joyful moments into your day? So being resilient and overcoming high functioning anxiety aren't about never having bad days or never feeling anxious or stressed or overwhelmed. We all have those experiences because we're all human. And when you have high functioning anxiety, you might struggle with those things a little more, but it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you for feeling these ways. So being resilient and overcoming high functioning anxiety is all about bouncing back from difficulty and not getting sucked into it. And this happens by not judging yourself or your experience, being kind and compassionate to yourself, noticing and labeling your emotions without identifying or judging them, and doing things that are going to help you feel better. So what is it that's gonna help you feel better right now? What is it that you enjoy or that you can do as something to look forward to or to reward yourself in some way? Or what is it that you really need right now? Asking yourself that question is coming from a place of self-compassion and can be a great way to reframe practicing self-care. What is it that you need in order to care for yourself and care for your mental health? So maybe it's taking a break, watching something funny and uplifting. Maybe it is prioritizing and paring down your to-do list to reduce overwhelm. Maybe it is staying away from social media, speaking to a support, practicing gratitude, and really focusing on what's important to you. I actually have a printable worksheet where you can write down your to-do list for today, and it was with some spots for gratitude that you can download by going to calmlycoping.com/gratitude. And this is something that you can practice every day to get the benefits of focusing on the positive, because when you are able to focus on the positive more and reframe that perspective from saying, my day is ruined, everything's so terrible, I'm feeling so overwhelmed and things are never going to get better, to focusing more on what's going well, what do I have to be grateful for. It doesn't mean that you're completely ignoring what's going on and the bad things and the difficult emotions you might be feeling. It's just that you're seeing them through a new lens and through a new perspective. I want you to remember that you are enough, you are not your thoughts, and that everything changes, including this day, including your emotions, including your perception of things. So let's continue the conversation. I'd love to hear your thoughts. You can head over to my free Facebook community, Calmly Coping, to share your thoughts on how you cope when you're having a bad day so that we can share the inspiration with others. You can go to calmlycoping.com/group to join the conversation. And if you found this episode helpful, then please like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and please leave me a review if you're listening to the podcast. And while you wait for next week's episode, I have other episodes about decreasing anxiety, adopting a healthy mindset, and managing your time and energy. So be sure to check out these episodes here. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and until next time, be calm.